Hi, I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read you the story Charlotte's Web, Chapter 16. Off to the fair. Finally go to the fair. The night before the country fair, everybody went to bed early. Fern and Avery were in bed by 8. Avery lay dreaming that the Ferris wheel had stopped and that he was in the top car. Fern lay dreaming that she was getting sick in her swings. Larry was in the bed by 8:30. He lay dreaming that he was throwing baseballs at a clothed cat and winning a genuine Navajo blanket. Mr. and Mrs. Zuckerman were in bed by 9. Mrs. Zuckerman lay dreaming about a deep freeze unit. Mr. Zuckerman lay dreaming about Wilbur. He dreamt that Wilbur had grown until he was 116 feet long and 92 feet high, and that he had won all the prizes at the fair, and he was covered with blue ribbons, and even had a blue ribbon tied in the end of his tail. Down in the barn cellar, the animals too went to sleep early, all except Charlotte. Tomorrow would be the fair day. Every creature planned to get up early to see Wilbur off on his great adventure. When morning came, everybody got up at daylight. The day was hot. Up the road at the Arable's house, Fern locked a pail of hot water to her room and took a strong bath. Then she put on her prettiest dress because she knew she would see the boys at the fair. Mrs. Arable scrubbed the back of Avery's neck and wet his hair and parted it and brushed it down hard till it struck the top of his head, or but about 6 hairs that stood straight up. Avery put on clean underwear, clean blue jeans, and a clean shirt. Mr. Arable dressed, ate breakfast, and then went out and polished his stock. He had offered to drive everybody to the fair, including Wilbur. Bright and early, Larry put clean straw in Wilbur's crate and lifted it into the pig pen. The crate was green. In gold letters, it said, Zuckerman's favorite pig. Zuckerman's famous pig, because Wilbur is so famous. Charlotte had her web, looking fine to the occasion. Wilbur ate his breakfast slowly. He tried to look radiant without getting food into his ears. In the kitchen, Mrs. Zuckerman suddenly made an announcement. Homer, she said to her husband, I am going to give that pig a buttermilk bath. What? said Mr. Zuckerman. A buttermilk bath. My grandmother used to bathe her pig with buttermilk when it got dirty. I just remembered. Wilbur's not dirty, said Mr. Zuckerman proudly. He's filthy behind the ears, said Mrs. Zuckerman. Every time Larry slaps him, the food runs down around the ears. That in dries in forms of a crust. He also has a smudge on one side where he lay in the manure. He lays in a clean straw, cracked Mr. Zuckerman. I think Mr. Zuckerman doesn't know that Wilbur doesn't like clean straw, so he put it one side and slips on the manure pile. Well, he's dirty, and he's going to have a bath. Mr. Zuckerman sat down weakly and ate a donut. His wife went to the orchard. When she returned, she wore rubber boots, an old raincoat, and she carried a bucket of buttermilk and a small wooden paddle. Edith, you are crazy, said Mr. Zuckerman. Mumbled Zuckerman, but she paid no attention to him. Together they walked to the pig pen. Mrs. Zuckerman wasted no time. She climbed in with Wilbur and went to work, dipping her paddle in the buttermilk. She rubbed him all over. The geese gathered around to see the fun, and so did the sheep and lambs. Even Templeton poked his head and courteously to watch Wilbur get a buttermilk bath. Charlotte got so interested she lowered herself on the drag line so she could see better. I'm going to see you a picture. Can you see? Charlotte, this is Charlotte and this is Wilbur. And for a first time, there is Wilbur. And where is Charlotte and Wilbur? Oh, yep. First, here's Charlotte and Wilbur. Wilbur is small and now big. And now, two. Yes, Wilbur and little Charlotte. Wilbur stood still and closed his eyes. He could feel the buttermilk stirring. He could feel the buttermilk trickling down his sides. He opened his mouth and some buttermilk went in. It was delicious. He felt radiant and happy. When Mrs. Zuckerman got through and rubbed him dry, he was the cleanest, prettiest pig you ever saw. It was pure white pink around the ears and snout, and smooth as silk. The Zuckermans went up to change into their best clothes. Lurby went to shave and put on his plaid shirt and his purple necktie. The animals were left to themselves in the barn. The 7 goslings parade round and round their mother. Please, take us to the fair, begged the gosling. Then all 7 began teasing to go. Please. They made a quiet racket. Children, snapped the goose. We are staying quietly, idly at home. Only Wilbur Ilbo is going to the fair. Just then, Charlotte interrupted. I shall go too, she said softly. I have decided to go with Wilbur. He may need me. We can tell what may happen at the fair grounds. Somebody's got to go along who knows how to write, and I think Templeton better come too. I might need somebody to run errands and do general work. I'm staying right here, grumbled the rat. I haven't the slightest interest in fairs. That's because you've never been to one, remarked the lordship. A fair is rat's prettiest. Everybody spills food at a fair. A rat can creep out late at night and have a feast. In the horse barn you will find oats that turtles and pastors have spilled. In the trampled grass in the infield you will find on old discard lunch boxes containing the full remains of peanut butter sandwiches, hard-boiled eggs, cracker crumbs, bits of donuts, and the particles of cheese. In the hard-packed dirt of Midway, after the glaring lights are out of the people have gone home to bed, you will find a veritable treasure of popcorn fragments, frozen custard dribblings, candied apples abandoned by tired children, sugar fluff crystals, sorted almonds, popsicles, prettily gnawed ice cream cones, and wooden sticks of lollipops. Everywhere is loot for a rat in tents, in booths, in hay lofts. Why, a fair has enough disgusting leftover food to save a war army of cats or rats. Templeton's eyes were blazing. Is this true? He asked. Is this appetizing yarn of yours true? I like high living, and what you say tempts me. It is true, said the lordship. Go to the fair, Templeton. You will find that the conditions at a fair will surpass your wildest dreams. Buckets with sole mesh sticking to them, tin cans containing particles of tuna fish, greasing paper bags stuffed with rotten. That's enough, cried Templeton. Don't tell me any more. I'm going. Good, said Charlotte, winking at the old ship. Now then, there's no time to be lost. Wilbur will soon be put into the crate. Templeton and I must get in the crate right now and hide ourselves." The rat didn't waste a minute. He scampered over to the crate, crawled between the slats, and pulled the straw up over him so he was hidden from light. "All right," said Charlotte. "I'm next." She sailed into the air, let out a drag line, and dropped gently to the ground. Then she climbed the side of the crate and hid herself into a note-hole in the top board. The urchin nodded. "What a cargo," she said. "The sign ought to say, Jokerman's favorite famous pig, and 2 stowaways." "Look out, the people are coming, shouted the gander. "Cheese it. The big truck with Mr. Arbor at the wheel backed slowly down toward the barnyard. Ruby and Mr. Jokerman walked alongside. Fawn and Avery were standing in the body of the truck, hanging on the sideboards. "Listen to me," whispered the old ship to Wilbur. "When they open the crate and try to put you in, struggle. Don't go without a tussle. Pigs always resist when they are being loaded." If I struggle, I'll get dirty," said Wilbur. "Never mind that. Do as I say." "Struggle. If you were to walk into the crate without resisting, Jokerman might think you are bewitched. He'd be scared to go to the fair." Templeton poked his head up through the straw. "Struggle if you must," he said, "but kindly remember that I'm sitting down here in this crate, and I don't want to be stepped on, or kicked in the face, or pummeled, or crushed in any way, or squeezed or buffeted about, or bruised or lacerated, or scared or biffed. Just watch what you're doing, Mr. Radiant, when they get shoving you in." "Be quiet, Templeton," said the ship. Pull you in your hat. They're coming. Look radiant, Wilbur. Lay low. Charlotte, tuck it up, geese." The truck backed slowly to the pigpen and stopped. Mr. Arable cut the motor, got out, walked around to the wheel, and lowered the tailgate. The geese cheered. Mrs. Arable got out of the truck. Fawn and Avery jumped to the ground. Mrs. Jokerman came walking down from the house. Everybody lined up at the fence and stood for a moment, admiring Wilbur and the beautifully green crate. Nobody realized that the crate already contained a rat and a spider. "That's some pig," said Mrs. Terrible. "He's terrific," said Lily. "He's very radiant," said Fawn, remembering the day he was born. "Well," said Mrs. Jokerman, "he's clean anyway. The buttermilk certainly helped." Mr. Arable studied Wilbur carefully. "Yes, he's a wonderful pig," he said. It's hard to believe that he was runt of the litter. You will get some extra good ham and bacon, Homer, when it comes time to kill the pig." Wilbur heard these words, and his heart almost stopped. "I think I'm going to faint," he whispered to the orchard, who was watching. "Kneel down," whispered the orchard. "Let the blood rush to your head." Wilbur sank to his knees, all radiance gone, his eyes closed. "Look!" screamed Fern. "He's fading away." "Hey, watch me!" yelled Avery, crawling on all fours into the crate. I'm a pig! Avery's foot touched Templeton under the straw. "What a mess!" thought the rat. What a fantastic creatures boys are. Why did I let myself in for this?" The geese saw Avery and it crate and cheered. "Avery, you get out of the crate this instant," commanded his mother. "What do you think you are?" "I'm a pig," cried Avery, tossing handfuls of straw in the air. "Oink, oink, oink." The truck is rolling away, Papa, said Fern. The truck, with no one at the wheel, had started to roll downhill. Mr. Elbow dashed to the driver's seat and pulled the emergency brake. The truck stopped. The geese cheered, Charlotte crunched, and made herself as small as possible in the North so Avery wouldn't see her. Come out at once, cried Mrs. Elbow. Avery crawled out of the crate on hands and knees, making faces at Wilbur. Wilbur fainted away. The pig has passed out, said Mrs. Zuckerman. Throw water on him. Throw buttermilk, suggested Avery. The geese cheered. Lurby ran for a pail of water. Fern climbed into a pan and knelt by Wilbur's side. It's sunstroke, said Zuckerman. The heat is too much for him. Maybe it's that, said Avery. Come out of that pig pen immediately, cried Mrs. Durable. Avery obeyed his mother and climbed into the back of the truck so he could see better. Lurby returned with cold water and dashed it on Wilbur. Throw some on me, cried Avery. I'm hot too. Oh, keep quiet, hollered Fern. Keep quiet. Her eyes were brimming with tears. Wilbur, feeling the cold water, came to. He rose slowly to his feet while the geese cheered. He's up, said Mr. Arable. I guess there's nothing wrong with him. I'm hungry, said Avery. I want a candied apple. Wilbur's all right now, said Fern. We can start. I want to take a read in the Ferris wheel. Mr. Zuckerman and Mr. Arable and Lurby grabbed the pig pen and pushed him headless toward the crate. Wilbur began to struggle. The harder the man pushed, the harder he held back. Avery jumped down and joined the man. Wilbur kicked and thrashed and grunted. Nothing wrong with this pig, said Mr. Zuckerman, cheerfully pressing his knee against Wilbur's behind. All together, now boys, shove! With a final help would jam him into the crate. The geese cheered. Lurby nailed some boards across the end so Wilbur couldn't back out. Then, using all their strength, the men picked up the crate and halved it aboard the truck. They did not know that under the straw was a rat, and inside the north wall was a big gray spider. They saw only a pig. Everybody in, called Mr. Elbow. He started the motor. The ladies climbed in beside him. Mr. Zuckerman and Lurby and Fern and Avery rode in the back, hanging onto the sideboards. The truck began to move ahead. The geese cheered. The children answered their cheer, and away went everybody to the fair. Next chapter, you will see these things. Bye!